overshare.
Yep.
Don't resist.
Don't resist. It's hard not to resist because
it's humiliating. But don't get mad.
They do manhandle you, and it is hard not to resist.
Yeah. They can. Yeah, it can happen.
All right, so let's check this out.
But there she is getting out of the car now. She's gonna do some exercises.
Exercises, yeah. That's...
Yes.
All right, let's react and watch some videos about people getting arrested, and maybe we can learn a few things from it. So let's get into it. Okay, so an 18-year-old was arrested on November 28th in 2021, driving while intoxicated. Took 7 attempts for her to blow into a breathalyzer.
You're everywhere. You're driving left lane, right lane, center lane. What's going on?
My lights I couldn't see because they were not on the way.
Okay. Where are you coming back from?
I'm coming from Rogers.
Rogers?
My mom's house, yeah.
Mom's house. How old are you?
I'm
18. 18? Okay. All right. You have ID, license, registration, proof of insurance?
Must say her hair is very nice.
Yeah, she does. She has nice hair. I'm with you.
How much you have to drink tonight?
I haven't drank tonight. I just came back from Thanksgiving in Rogers.
I see the bourbon seltzer there, so.
That's such a loaded question whenever they ask you what you drink tonight. Like, they're just trying to constantly incriminate you with who, what, why, when, where, and how.
Yeah.
There's all the questions, and they're all leading questions that are designed to get more information out of you, and that's what he's beginning to do on her.
Oh, that's not mine.
That's not mine.
You can see it. It's all.
So far, I got plenty of smell. Get off the side of this highway. Come on. Go ahead and step out for me, okay? We're going to get out of this thing.
Okay, so she's already stepping out. So he knows it's elevated already. I guess he has probable cause, and he thinks it is a reasonable and articulate decision that he has done.
Right. Yep.
Which is,
they have to have that. And it seems that's the case here. I have a few things and tips when all is said and done.
Okay, just go ahead and step back there for me. Step in front of this car. You don't got any weapons or anything on you?
No, sir.
No needles, anything?
No, sir.
Okay. I'll be right there. Lean over here, man.
Really?
The flashing lights drive me crazy, dude. I wouldn't even want to be arrested because I can't stand bright flashing lights.
Yeah, and they're incredibly bright too. Like I've seen them just even passing them on the road or whatever. It's just at night.
At night, it's unbearable. I don't know how they deal with it.
It is.
It's just.
I don't know how they deal with it either. Yeah, I can't see anything.
One cop car. Imagine then you get ambulances and it's just a sea of blindness.
Right.
All right, so he's going to question her now. It's funny because you can have your phone, but once you're detained, you can no longer have your phone. And a lot of people I watch these, they clutch their phones, man, because that's the way you can communicate and call people. So
true.
I just started anxiety medicine. You can see it's in my car. It's prescribed to me. It's just been making me feel really.
The prescription medication excuse. Yeah.
I can call my mom. Like I just came from. Okay.
And cops, the one thing you have to really watch out for is they'll when they speak to you, they always want to simplify everything. Oh, it's just a test. Oh, just take 1 minute. Don't worry. They're simplifying everything. They're constantly trying to incriminate you because they're doing an investigation, and that's what law enforcement is doing. It is enforcing the law.
The typical Miranda rights when read, anything you say can and will be used against you.
And then usually the very next question is they're trying to get you to talk. Like they have to say the Miranda rights, but then they're like, they want you to forget about that, and then they just want to get you talking again.
Yeah, they have to read the rights to you, but then they'll get you to tell. Don't worry about it.
They'll immediately ask you a question that's trying to get information out of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay.
She's ready.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I gotta wait for him to turn my lights off.
Okay.
She is only 18 years old.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2018, 2019, 2020.
You want to stop? Deep.
There's a whole other thing I'd like to get into about how I think that the tests that they give people when they drink is ridiculous. It's like you've never done it before, so that it's just so confusing when they're like, say numbers backwards like this and walk this way and walk that way. I'd like to see like a normal body person
backwards.
do that. It's such
I was gonna say, stone cold sober, I'd probably have a hard time saying the alphabet backwards. Now I have, been able to do it, but that was after some thought.
Yeah, but most
I don't
people
know that I could just do it randomly. Even people sober, right?
They don't know how to take direction anyway. And most people don't even want to take direction from people. So now you're giving them all these directives, and it's like it's so confusing. Like, how are you supposed to pass? You can't.
Right,
I think it's
right. It's
breath a little hard. Harder,
blow.
much harder.
Actually, blow.
Are you blocking into the straw with your tongue?
No, sir. I'm blowing hard. Like that was at 2
So the legal limit is 0.08. If you're a 0.08 or higher, you're beyond.
So 0.08 is nothing. It's nothing. It's like one can of beer.
That's
it's
quite low.
Literally nothing. So you should not drink and drive because it's just.
Do not drink and drive. That's tip number 1.
Oh, I don't think you saw that. Here,
do it.
What's not allowed?
like 2 o'clock. I'm not, sir.
Lying.
I'm not. I've literally just gotten a fight with my mom. Like I'm not.
Good. You know what the legal limit is?
0.8. All right, so now she's getting detained. So let's just move it along.
Sit down right there with that bitch. Take a deep breath and put it on there. Blow. Harder. There you go. Keep going. Harder. Okay. I need it a little bit harder. Okay.
I'm blowing really.
Look at that machine. That machine's probably like, they probably bill them guys like $50,000 for that thing. It's probably such a racket.
No, that's what it looks like. That's kind of crazy.
You think you can do it?
I think they have. This looks newer. You know?
I'm trying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really
It's arguably a good thing because I've never
I'm trying. I'm driving really hard. I'm trying.
drank and
I'll try
drive. So.
harder.
Yeah, I need you to blow a little bit harder than that, okay?
Okay.
Go have a seat for me. Okay, you're gonna take a deep breath. And then do it. Hard, a little harder.
Okay, so quick thing to note. You know, we're seeing this video and we're actually be able to observe it and all this, and this is like her worst day. People, everyone needs to understand this, and this is how the world works now. You have no right to your privacy in public, and you also have no right to your privacy for that video not getting released because they do a FOIA request. I think it's called FOIA.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Freedom of Information Act.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
the various states and national government.
what this YouTube channel does is a bit nefarious. They just go around and they just get the footage and then they actually post it online, and it gets a lot of views, and the channels really do grow. And that girl had no consent whatsoever to putting this video up. It's just basically fair use. Once you do that,
it becomes like public, like
Horrible.
public knowledge in a way. But it's true because now that she's at least legally an adult, let's say, right? It's interesting because there's nothing. Oh well, you got busted, driving in this case, and there she is, like getting
Well, I just have some B-roll going.
recorded.
But my point is what I'm trying to express, and anybody who would watch this video, you need to learn that what you do in public is super public nowadays, and your privacy is no longer granted. Like your worst day can be plastered everywhere, and for basically perpetuity, forever, right? Like, I mean, this will probably be on the internet 100 years from now. This girl's
I think you're
bad
right.
night.
Yeah. It's interesting because I've heard from somebody even before the mobile phones and cameras everywhere and all that, no matter almost where you go in the world, the minute you walk out of your house and arguably sometimes in your place, the camera's always on.
Yep.
And I think that's something good to keep in mind. You don't want to walk around paranoid or anything, but the camera's always on, essentially. Someone's going to record you doing something.
We are being recorded all the time, and that footage, we're public, so we have no right to privacy in public, as a lot of people don't understand that.
Right.
They think they do. They don't unless they change the law. So what you do and say in public can be used against you. And not only that, people can profit off of it. And your worst day can become somebody's video that makes them $800 or something. So just be careful, everybody.
It'll be someone else's best day.
And the police,
it's really a shame.
don't joke with them because they're not gonna just let you slide.
That's right.
You're in serious trouble when you're pulled over, and you need to act accordingly.
There are times in this world and where having a sense of humor is illegal. So it's probably best just to stay quiet, cooperate, get a lawyer. if you think you're really also if you can afford one.
Well,
When
then
you provide it.
yeah, they'll
like
provide
Alan,
you one.
Yeah.
But like,
But
it's not the
yeah.
time to joke. They don't care about you. They really don't. The only thing they care about is processing you and being the enforcement of the law. And you just become a number and a name, and then they take money from you. They punish you. They take money from you, and we are really not very much in control. We can get in trouble real quick, and we can lose a lot of money fast. And there's no one who will help you. Who's going to help you? Who do you know that would give you $10,000 if you needed it? Well, not many. Probably less than 5 people. Probably less than 0 for most people.
I don't know anyone who can sling. Well, I don't think I know anyone who
Just
can sling
sling 20.
$10,000 my way, right? But
So my
Better
point
Call
being,
Saul?
yeah, man, you can get in trouble real easy and real quick. So when you're out there, just make sure you're taking care of your business.
Take it harder. There you go. There you go. Ah, almost had it. Almost had it. It was almost across. It was almost across.
I don't want to do it wrong again.
Come on. I think she can just go.
So she's completely detained right now. She's not free to go, and she has to do all this. And if she doesn't do this, it will cost her even more money and more time. So she's literally captured right now, you know. And they're just gonna, she's gonna have to pay.
Refuse to put. That was probably like 1 second away. Yeah, it was like 1.
Like, look at them. These two dudes are just hanging out, broing out together, and being like, "Oh yeah, you gotta do it one more time." Like, there's a lot of downtime for cops too. Let's not just act like they're all just, they're just in there playing the game, you know. All right,
Dude,
check this out.
You almost had it. It's nothing to cry about. You almost had it.
Oh, you almost had it.
one thing's for darn sure: do not drink and drive. That
Well,
you could end up in a situation like this, or worse. Yeah, or somebody
It
else
used
could
to
end up
be
in a worse situation.
perfectly legal, pretty much, back in the 50s and probably part of the 60s. They would just tell you to lay down in the back of your car, take a nap. The police officers would. And then I think they started to realize
right.
just how much money they can make off of people. Yes, I get it. Drunk drivers kill people. It's so true. I mean, it's they shouldn't be drinking and driving, 100%. But like, I think all of them realized just too how much of a big money maker it still is and always will be. I mean, it's a huge money maker. It's probably got to be worth like $1 billion or something. It's got to be a ton. You know.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm that she's not going to prison. Well, I don't know, but the so-called prison industrial complex people talk about in the United States, at least.
Oh yeah, that's real.
Where and it I was reading a little about it, and it does make you think. Like, it's like, oh yeah, these criminals, send them off to prison, but then you think there's no real ability to rehabilitate for those who actually can, right? They're just sent deeper into debt and deeper in the problems, and it becomes like the prison has an incentive to keep them there, as opposed to an incentive to rehabilitate those who actually can be rehabilitated. Some can't, right? But that's another story.
Also, most prisons
Makes you
are
think, right?
are privately owned, so it is
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a business.
Mhm.
If it's privately
Yep.
owned, I mean, somebody's running it.
Yeah.
They're not non-profit. They're profit. They make a lot of money.
Oh yeah, for-profit prisons.
They are
It's kind of
for-profit prisons,
a
and
mind bender.
we do have the highest incarceration rate in America, and I don't know.
Right.
It's just
that should make us think too.
just as long as you can, just try to mind your business. Don't overshare, and be very cautious of when you're out in public, because you can lose your freedom real quick. You can get it back, but then you're going to get hit financially, which is the other part, which is even worse. They'll destroy you. They'll destroy you, and you got to pay for a lawyer and It's terrible. All right, so what do we got here? We got another one here. Found drunk and incoherent inside of a crashed patrol car.
Wow.
Oh, that's see.
An Aurora police officer was found drunk and incoherent.
See, so they do it too.
Oh yeah, yep. The human condition, right?
Make sure he doesn't have back up.
So this is a police officer who crashed his
Oh, my
car,
goodness.
and he was drunk. Wow.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to.
Okay.
So I'm sitting in the median.
get right up on my butt.
Okay, that was quick. Can we at least see him?
Mm.
The thing about body cam is it could just be arms and legs and stuff like that. So,
It's true. It's true.
so again, this video was pulled. She did not release this video. This was taken. This her
This
one
is
of her
pulled
worst
from
night
the-
ends up on the internet, and there's nothing she can do about it.
Okay, where you coming from?
I'm coming from my friend's house.
Oh, okay. Where's your friend's house at?
She lives in Odessa.
Oh, okay. Where you heading to?
My home.
Oh, okay. Where do you live at?
I live in Newport Richie, Carlton Arms.
Oh, okay. Do you have anything to drink tonight?
No.
So I'm sitting in the median and waiting for her to come to me, and I see dispatch does a status update at gun M54. So I'm making a U-turn to get back around, and bro, she's hauling. Obviously, I don't have moving radar, but
He said, "And bro."
visually estimated her. She's probably going 73 miles an hour. She's not coming from Odessa.
No.
So,
All right,
based
out the
off how you're
car.
driving, you're concerning me. And
This is it.
Get out the car. Out the car. It looks like she has a lot of tattoos.
I want to do some exercises to see if you're okay to drive. Are you willing to do that for me?
Oh, the exercises.
Okay,
Here
so
we
you
go.
want to do some exercises to show that you're okay.
See the way he minimalized
straight
it?
line.
It wasn't, I'm going to give you a DUI check. I want to do some exercises. So it's like this is an oversimplification. That's kind of what they do. And let me just put this out there for everyone. Police can legally lie to you. Detectives can lie to you. They don't have to. Do you think because they're the police they have to be honest? No, they can lie to you. They can manipulate. They can do all different kinds of things. So please,
You know, that's a good point.
Don't
That's a
incriminate
good
yourself.
point. They can do that if they're they're trying to pursue, in their mind, enforce the law and pursue
Yeah,
justice.
they can lie.
Get answers. So the best thing, I mean, is just, as you said, don't overshare.
Yeah,
Don't dig your, the classic expression, if you find yourself in a hole, stop digging, right? By talking too much, you end up digging yourself potentially into a deeper
Yeah.
hole. So,
And it's
number
like
one, don't drink and drive. But if you find yourself in a situation where you're on the, say, a questionable side of the law, and maybe you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, whatever it is, in those cases, yeah, I would say, just be quiet. And just, if you really feel the need, get a lawyer.
yeah. Listen,
Say you're going to get a lawyer. Tell them specifically.
if you're gonna
and
get,
then
if
they
you're
can't.
if you're gonna get arrested, don't be dumb and babble. Don't overshare and don't be personal. And like you're gonna probably go to jail or prison. You're gonna go see a judge. All this stuff, right? You're gonna go through that whole racket, which is a system, right? Which is a money making system.
Yeah, you
So
don't have to go through that.
There's
some of
no,
it.
there's just no need to overshare. And the best thing you could say is, I don't answer questions. That's another thing we're going to have to watch, not in this video. We're going to have to watch some First Amendment auditors because I learned a tremendous amount about just our laws in general, because, they go into post offices and DMVs and all kinds of places, and they don't even give the ID. The cop wants their ID, they deny them. And it's really interesting to realize also how much strength you have as a citizen, because when you see this, you're compromised. You're already driving a motor vehicle and you're already like in a lot of trouble. But when you're just a freestanding person on a public like easement or something, you have a lot of strength. You have a lot of constitutional rights.
We do have in the United States. There are a lot of constitutional protections. So one of the and that's huge. That means something. And a lot of this, what I'm saying, applies to the United States. That's what where I live, where I know about.
Sure.
The one thing too, do not resist.
Yeah,
Do not resist.
that's a great point.
I think is important to say.
There's a lot
Don't do anything unless you're told. Don't resist.
There's
don't
so
make any
many
sudden emotions.
other videos I could show you where people constantly resist, and it happens a lot when they're stealing. Like when you go in the Walmart and they steal, they resist like
I've
crazy.
seen them.
Oh my God,
they get crazy.
They get crazy.
And it's too much. Like just. If there's an issue, there's no reason for police excessive cruelty or things like that either. But get the badge. You can do that. The badge number. What you can, but just cooperate best you can. Don't overshare.
Yep.
Don't resist.
Don't resist. It's hard not to resist because
it's humiliating. But don't get mad.
They do manhandle you, and it is hard not to resist.
Yeah. They can. Yeah, it can happen.
All right, so let's check this out.
But there she is getting out of the car now. She's gonna do some exercises.
Exercises, yeah. That's,
yes.
this test is I like to. I like to break
What's
down
happening?
on one of the episodes like who created this test and like what merit does it have. You know what I mean?
Oh, is she to follow the light? Is
Yeah,
that the? Is
they
that
look
what's
for
going on
some
here?
like jump in your eyeballs or some nonsense. They'll
Oh,
lie to
that's
you
interesting.
in so many different ways. Like it isn't even a sincere. Why can't when you're in school? Why can't there be civics classes that can like train you to be pulled over? Can train you to interact with a police officer? Can
You
explain what
know,
the Miranda rights are? Explain
that's a great
the
point.
DUI test to you? No, they don't want you to know.
Yeah, because a lot of people who do go off the rails, and I think foolishly so, but they do it. If I think what might help is if they're educated. Now,
Yeah.
some people are beyond help, right? But those who are educated about, hey, look, if you're in the United States, at least as an American citizen, you have certain constitutionally protected rights. You know, it's no guarantee, right? But this is what happens when you get pulled over. This is how you should behave. This is what in general what they're going to say, right? This is kind of how it might go down. These are some of the tests.
Right.
I don't know about that test with the light, other than I don't know. If you're not responsive at all,
This
maybe that's an
this
issue.
is what I would like to see. Okay, so 5th grade or so, you know, when the police come to like the school and everybody's like, "Oh my God, a police officer!" Don't celebrate them and praise them. Look at them like the actual law enforcement that they are, and then make a scenario where the children in the class have to be detained and they have to talk to the police officer, and he's going to talk to them the way he would talk to somebody who he might arrest. This whole like here's my
That
here's,
would be interesting.
here's my card
Yeah.
and I'm a police officer and I'm a hero. Great, that's fine. But how about we actually teach young people what law enforcement really looks like when they're not playing games, they are lying to you. Like do the real scenario. Do it in 8th grade, do it in 7th grade, and run the whole tests on people so when they get out in public at 18 they understand the severity of their actions and what law enforcement truly has and the power that they can wield on you. They don't do that. The cops show up and it's all ha ha he he, go in my car, da 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 da, look at my shiny badge. I'd like to see a more realistic demonstration with younger people in school. That's true civics.
It's cool because that reminded me. Although I was much older when I took this class than 5th grade or primary school, or junior high even. But I took a course in criminal procedure, and I got to play the officer, right? So then I was going into someone's home, like the classroom, to search. The professor was the accused, right? To search for. It was a bag of sugar, but the idea is we're looking for quote drugs, right?
Sure.
And what was really interesting was I got a lot of education out of. I was doing it all wrong, so I go to march right into the class. Hi, I'm Officer. I'm Officer X. I'm coming in to, and the professor stopped me. Says, "Well, excuse me, sir. Let me just take a look at the warrant here. You have a warrant?" I show him the warrant. No, hold on. He's like, "Let me take a look." He reads it. Okay, comes in. If it's not in plain view, if it's not listed in the warrant, if it's not, so like the protection against search and seizure was the point of the lecture, the Fourth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. So it was really a cool experience because I learned a lot about what my rights would be as a citizen if I were in, heaven forbid, in a similar situation, and what an officer can and can't do, at least in theory here.
Yeah, I guess
So
you were learning
it's very
like
cool.
due process, basically, right?
Yeah, exactly. Due process of law, things like that. Like, what unreasonable search and seizure means, what it protects and what it doesn't. Like you throw your trash out, trash is on the public domain. That's on the curb. Hey, they can look through your trash.
Yep. So you kind of go more to my point. Why can't that kind of class be done earlier in education? Why do you got to get to college to have the knowledge of how to actually survive in a world without being apprehended or even being a nefarious lawbreaker? Like it should be earlier. It should be earlier and less fluff.
I think you're right about that.
And I think
you're absolutely right about that.
I know that like they're redistributing the education department. I would say let's just get each township. If you live in a nice township, I think one of your law enforcement officers can go into that school a couple times a month, and they can run scenarios, and then people will understand the words like due process and what it means to be detained and what the Miranda, like do the whole scenario.
Like
you can
what
make
your
it
rights
fun.
are.
You can make it fun. You
can have a lot of fun with it. You can have like if you want to get into the court, like you could play like they do in certain like law schools, like the moot court, You go in and you just kind of like you play like trial lawyers, and I think it's good that we learn true civics.
Yes.
We're not learning that in this
Younger,
country.
younger.
It makes younger than we are.
Younger.
It makes you a better citizen, I think, in
Yes.
the long run. A better participant in this democratic republic we supposedly have,
Yep.
right? So I think, at least in the U.S. So, yeah, I'm with you. I think it should be taught at a younger age.
I think it's
exposed.
I think if you were to
Yeah.
just redo education, I'd like to see civics implied early. I mean, 5th,
Yeah,
6th
absolutely.
grade. You can knock off one of those silly classes or something. You can just there's silly stuff. I know there is. Let's put something that
Yeah.
actually has true value, which would raise better adults who understand the whole picture of what it means when you start to become an adult and what your cause and effects are. That's what I'm. That's all.
It's true.
That's why I get annoyed with police sometimes. That's why I get annoyed with people, and that's why I get annoyed with the education system. Not like the whole education system, but just educating
just
young
those
people
pieces,
on
yeah.
things that are real. Because when you're involved with those police and they're taking your rights away, that's a pretty real thing. When they're hitting you for thousands of dollars, you got to go to POs, you got to go to prison.
Oh, yeah.
Most people don't even know the difference between prison and jail. So like this is the kind of stuff you need to be talking about when people are young.
Yeah, and you know it's good that you bring that up, and I think that's a good point. The consequences. There are going to be consequences to your actions. There are consequences to the officer's actions too, in an arrest gone awry or whatever. But there's also consequences to, you do certain things. This could happen to you. It might give the, youngins a second thought. Like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't do that thing because I really don't want to put up with all of the things that I now know are consequences to the fines and the jail and the prison time and the detentions and all that.
And that's a real person underneath it there, so they're going to have to go through the shame of their family being like you screwed up, you know what I mean. There's a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm just going to say that I'd like to see a lot more upfront education about civics in grade school. Make it fun, make it informative, and stop having the cop come in and say, play with my car and I'm a hero. Like, that's fine. I respect law enforcement, I do, but come on, man. Let's try to get that together. All the taxes people pay for their local townships, I mean, especially in Jersey and stuff, you got the money to try to do this because I think it would pay off immensely for future generations, or just the first generation. It would pay off immediately. If young people know in totality what the cause and effects are of their actions, and then they can act, even if they learn 50% of it, that's a lot better than zero.
It's better than zero, right? And you touch on a point I like to make a lot. It's moving the needle a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Something's better than nothing.
Yeah.
So we might not remember every detail. I don't know if everyone's going to be a constitutional lawyer coming out of, but moving the needle.
My point would be, don't be a constitutional lawyer. Be your own individual. Be your own lawyer. That doesn't mean you're like, oh, I'm going to sue you. It just means be your own agent. Be your own producer. The way you operate, orchestrate yourself properly, and then you probably can play the game a lot better and not go into debt, not get arrested. And if you do, at least you know how to get arrested, right? That can be helpful.
Yeah, there's exactly my point too. There's for lack of better words, a better way to do it, to enhance your well-being in a given moment, that rather than adding to your misery in a given moment in life. And I think like any decision you make, keeping that in mind, and assuming you're well calibrated ethically, you'll probably keep that in mind, hopefully, if you know a few things about civics beforehand, at least as far as American law is concerned.
The worst things you can lose is your time, your money, and your energy, and also your reputation. So those are all things.
Your reputation matters. Your energy, time. And it's true.
It's true that they push. What I mean by they is the environment, the communities, the people, your peers. Go have a good time. Go get naked. Go find people to do things with. Right. But it's way more emphasized in that regard than it is to actually be an upright person. And
it's true.
It's just like, I think on purpose, it's not emphasized in this way. So that way, you're a sucker. I feel like that's how they use you and abuse you. Just become a sucker.
I'm with you. Elements of the culture certainly glorify things that, you can have fun, but just think about what you do.
Yeah.
Like, remember, like you said earlier, the camera's on when you're out in public,
Yep.
so to speak. Whether it's actually on or not, people are watching. You don't want to walk around paranoid, but at the same time, you can't walk around thinking, "Oh, I'm with a license to do whatever you
Yeah.
want." Right?
Well,
It
this
doesn't
is
work
a-
that way.
This is
Has to be some order here.
the world is a dangerous place. It is.
Yeah.
There's surviving in this world and being above the water and thriving to be an actual like superior citizen is very difficult. I'm not going to lie to anyone who watches this. You really need to watch yourself out there. And as you age and you get weaker, it only gets stronger. It doesn't weaken. The laws don't weaken. You weaken. So be very careful with the way you operate when you're going out and about in this world. And that's about all I got. It's about a
Well said.
half-hour episode.
Well
I think
said,
we
man.
did great. We kind of got a little bit of everything in there. I want civics in schools younger, and I want it to actually be an informative thing and not just some silly thing where it's like cops like, go in my car. You can be cool like me. No, you act like a cop. You come in here and act like a cop and take people's freedoms away. And try, play the role. Have them know what it's
I
really
do
like.
want to hit the siren button once in my life, though. I've never gotten a chance to do that.
Beep, beep. Well, that was great. I thank you for your input on that. That was a good episode.
You bet. You bet.
We'll have to get into First Amendment audits too. They're a lot of fun. Those
That's
guys.
gonna be cool. Yeah,
Those-
I'm liking the.
Those guys got some balls, man. They really do.
Oh, I
Um,
bet.
well,
I
with
bet.
that-
That's gonna be fascinating.
We're out.